Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. All right, so I'm coming on live to do another Friday video teaching. If this is your first time tuning into me and you don't know who I am, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic business empowerment coach. I basically teach people how to manifest whatever they want in their personal lives as well as their businesses. And I do this through teaching some spiritual teachings around energy, manifesting, inner shifting of your beliefs, and so on. So every Friday I come on here onto my YouTube channel, sorry about that, to do a Friday teaching. And I try to do this between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing because I'm traveling around Mexico at this time. And so while I'm traveling and doing my location independent thing, sometimes I'm not always able to come on in a specific time, but I do come on Fridays. And today I was guided to speak to all of you on connecting to the truth of who you are, okay? So if you're watching the replay or the recording of this anywhere, let me know in the comments below that you watched, what your comments are after you get through this teaching. Definitely make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more teachings like this and other videos that I have on my channel as well. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with you further as we move forward. So getting into the teaching, what they wanted me to share with all of you today is they really wanted to bring forward a kind of reminder, a kind of message of how one of your purposes here in life is to really allow yourself to be who you truly are, okay? Last week I spoke on how, discovering your soul's purpose or your career purpose is the means to which you get to experience much greater levels of fulfillment and happiness in your life. It's one of the ways. And so really connecting to the truth of who you are is also another one of those ways for you to experience that happiness and fulfillment that you're seeking. And it's one of your purposes in this life as well. No matter who you are, it's really learning to be more loving and accepting of who you are and allowing your true truth, your true self-expression, your true energy to come through you and to be shared with the world and with others. And so what they wanted me to remind all of you is that as you allow yourself to be the highest expression of yourself, then you're going to recognize and see for yourself that as you allow more of who you truly are to come through, it's going to kind of segue or carry you into greater levels of success. And you're going to be able to realize that you just needed to be yourself all along, and that was the answer you were seeking to getting everything that you want. Does that make sense? It's about really understanding on a deep level that you don't have to modify yourself in any way just to get the success you want, just to get the love that you want, just to be able to make the impact that you want, etc. Like if you would just allow your true soul's expression, your true soul's truth to come through you, that's going to allow for your life to naturally and effortlessly blossom, and for you to be able to then have everything that you desire, okay? So it's really about just understanding that life is easy. It really can be easy if you would just allow yourself to be who you truly are. And once you do that, everything just works out for you because you're being the highest version of you. And so the only thing that's really stopping you from being who you truly are on this deep soul level is just all of the things that you believe about yourself and about the world, and what keeps you from allowing your true self-expression, your true soul's truth to be expressed. It's all the things that you hold within yourself or that you believe that make you feel like it's not safe to be who you are, make you feel like it's not acceptable to be who you are, make you feel like you have to be something other than who you really are in order to make it in the world, in order to be admired by others, in order to make an impact, and so on and so forth. And so it's all of these things that you are holding on to that are unconsciously dimming your own light and keeping your true unapologetic self from shining through. Now, it's really interesting because this past week, excuse me, I'm going through some up-leveling right now with my throat. This past week, I watched this Netflix documentary of like Jim Carrey and how he portrayed this late comedian, and I don't remember the whole thing, what it was called. Let me see if I can find it right now. But it was really funny because that documentary was really all about how this late comedian was doing their best to be their most authentic, truest expression of themselves, and how a lot of the behavior that they displayed and the comments that they made or the types of jokes that they didn't really conform to what people wanted, didn't really conform to that status quo. It wasn't always like acceptable or the nicest thing. And this comedian that Jim Carrey portrayed didn't really care, was just being their own unapologetic self, and was truly experiencing a great level of freedom that maybe Jim Carrey hadn't allowed himself to experience before. Because a lot of times we hold back from being who we truly are, especially like, here you go. This is the documentary thing, or the Netflix thing. It's called this, Jim and Andy. It's this one right here in case you need to see it. But anyway, so this is because, especially like someone like Jim Carrey, who is an actor, and obviously you want people to like your work. You want people to like your work so that they hire you some more, so that you get more opportunities, so that you do more of what you love, and so on and so forth. And so when Jim portrayed this late comedian, Andy something, I forgot his last name already, this comedian was still able to be a massive success, even though they were just who they were, which was always to a certain extent controversial, sometimes like really sarcastic and nasty with the kinds of jokes that he told, or the kinds of like personalities that he would adopt in order to like do an act, and so on and so forth. And even though this person, like most people would judge that person, that late comedian, as, not being funny and not this and not that and so on and so forth, and nitpicking on, their work and all of this other stuff, in spite of all of that, that person still achieved success. That person still got to do amazing things in their lives and do what they loved. And so that's really what we're being called to remember at this time, is that you can truly be successful and have everything that you want if you would just allow yourself to be the true you, no matter what that looks like, no matter how that comes out. But a lot of times we don't allow our true self to come through, or who we truly are to come through, because again, we want to make other people happy. We want to be liked by people. We want to be accepted by people. We want to not step on anyone's toes. We want to not be, not have our name in other people's mouths, and so on and so forth, and not display behaviors or make comments or dress in a way that's going to get like negative reactions and all these different things. And so it's all of this conscious and unconscious stuff that we hold within ourselves that causes us to kind of dim our own light, and causes us to not really be who we truly are, just be that unapologetic badass version of ourselves. And so this is what they're really wanting to kind of bring forward today with this message of this video, no matter if you're watching it now during July 2019, or if you're watching years down the road. It doesn't matter when you watch this, because if you're watching this video, it's for a reason. You were guided to this video, to this message, for a specific reason, to remind you of this at this time, to help you on your journey. And so what they're wanting to remind you right now, especially with the current energy at this time, this energy that we're going through is really kind of pushing us to becoming more of who we truly are. It is really helping us to bring to our awareness a lot of the things that we are allowing, either consciously or unconsciously, to have us to continue to dim our own light and to kind of keep ourselves caged in a way, because we don't realize that we do this to ourselves. We cage ourselves by not allowing our true soul's expression to shine through it, to be bright, by thinking, oh no, I shouldn't do that, I shouldn't say that, or I'm gonna get this negative reaction if I do this, and so on and so forth. And so you do all of these things, to hold yourself back, to dim your own light, to keep yourself caged, instead of just allowing yourself to be the amazing expression of you that you are. And so this is what they're really wanting to share with all of you today who are watching this, is that it's really important for you at this time, as you're going through this energetic process or whatever you may be going through in your life at this moment, where certain situations are arising for you to kind of bring up to your awareness your limiting beliefs and emotions that you may be feeling, low vibrational emotions you may be feeling, to really help you to recognize that what you're feeling, what you're thinking, if it's low vibrational, if it's uncomfortable, if it's fear-based, that is all helping you to bring to your awareness how you're disconnecting yourself from who you truly are. So if, for example, you want to, this past week, right? I started taking some pole dancing classes in the last city where I was at. I went, today is Friday, I went last Friday, and then I took classes on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I took 2 classes in each session. So one of the reasons that I decided to do this pole dancing class thing was because, first of all, I felt I was divinely guided to that. Second of all, it was because it was really going to get me out of my comfort zone. It was really going to help me to push myself out of the boundaries in which I think I need to be in. And so the boundaries in which I thought I needed to be in was, oh, I don't do that kind of dancing because I can't, because I'm not feminine enough, because I'm not, confident enough, or I'm not sexy enough, or I'm not coordinated enough, or I'm not this enough, and so on and so forth. And I had all of these things that basically were caging my spirit, and I needed to move beyond that and get out of that comfort zone to be more of who I truly are, so that I don't allow any of those kinds of stories to hold me back any further. So that's why I decided to sign up for those pole dancing classes. In part was because I didn't want to continue to cage my own spirit and to hold myself back from being more of who I truly am, and being empowered in my divine feminine energy. So I signed up for those classes and I started taking them. And by the end of it, during the whole situation, there were quite a few instances, especially in the first few classes, where I had, all of these fears and limiting beliefs around, like, oh my God, I can't really lift my body weight. I'm not strong enough. I'm not, sexy enough. I'm not this. Like, look at all those girls. They know how to move, their bodies in these sensual kinds of ways. And I'm so awkward and all of this other stuff. Like, that was just my crazy ego. And I had to really shift out of that again and again, and choose to shift out of that and recognize, like, no, that is not who I am. That's just my ego. That's just stories trying to hold me back, trying to cage my spirit. And that's not who I really am. And I'm going to transcend this, and I'm going to move through this, and I'm going to embody more of who I am, and so on and so forth. And I kept doing my best to push myself, to be like, no, I can do this too. It's in me as well, and so on and so forth. And so by the end of my, 6th class and final class, my instructor had me put together a choreography and was like, okay, you're going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and so on and so forth. And I was nervous. Again, the stories were like, oh my God, but you suck at choreography. You can't memorize all of that, and so on and so forth. And I had to transcend that and choose to do it, and just recognize I can do this. This is who I am. I have the capacity to do this, and so on and so forth. And I did it. I danced the choreography. By the end of the class, I finally managed to get up the pole, because by then I had just been able to get on the pole, not actually go up it. And I was able to do these things that at the beginning of the class, I thought I couldn't do. I thought, to a certain extent, where I was allowing to control my life and to control how I felt about my sensuality and my sexuality and being comfortable in my body and all these different things. By the end of the class, I confronted a lot of things that were caging my spirit, that were caging more of who I truly was. And so by choosing to put myself in that environment and situation and choosing to transcend all of those self-imposed limitations and to free myself from my own limitations that I had placed on myself, I allowed more of who I truly was to come through, and I stopped being so self-conscious. I started embracing my, my curves more, the movements that my body does, and so on and so forth. And I uploaded these videos to my Facebook to share with my friends and family, on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, Stef Coaching, I share that because I always share the journey to really share with all of you how, transformation and becoming who you truly are. For most of us, it doesn't happen from one day to the next, and you never really get it done anyway, because just there are some people that can make very powerful decisions in that moment to release a kind of behavior. Like we've heard people that like instantly stop smoking or stop drinking from one day to the next, and there are people that can choose to like make major shifts like that. But when you've made that major shift, there's always a greater version of you and a greater version of you and a greater version, and so on and so forth, because you never finish. You're an infinite being and you're constantly expanding. And so there's never one like final destination for you. But, no matter if you're able to make those big definitive shifts in becoming more of who you truly are, or whether you have to take little baby steps sometimes like I do with, pole dancing and so on, or whatever it may be for you, the point is that you decide, whether or not you want to keep caging your spirit and keep holding on to those self-imposed limitations and holding yourself back from being the beautiful, powerful, vibrant, maybe even lively or extroverted person that you truly are, or whether you hold yourself back to the stories and the things that you believe about yourself that kind of have you feeling like you should stay quiet, you're better off in the corner hiding or not seen, and all this other stuff. There are so many people that I see or I come across online that identify as introverts, and I've even worked with people that I originally identified as introverts, and that they felt like they couldn't be around people and they couldn't do this and that and so on and so forth. And if that's what you want to believe, by all means, continue to believe that if that's what you want. But what I've learned through working with people and observing people, and even my own journey, because I was very much, you could call it or label it as introverted, many years ago, especially as a teen, I just kept to myself. I didn't really let anyone in. And now I'm the opposite. I'm very, open and friendly, and I'm easy to approach and all these different things. So from my own journey and working with others and observing others, that when we hold on to these stories of, oh yes, I'm this way and that way, or I can't do this and so on, you're just caging who you really are. And when you are able to release those things and really allow yourself to be placed in sometimes even environments or positions in which you have to transcend those stories that you've been telling yourself, or those self-imposed limitations, and you have to transcend that, then more of your true nature, your true spirit, your true essence, your soul's truth, your beliefs can come through, and you can shine more brightly in that sense and allow yourself to be who you truly are. So because I have been doing a lot of personal development and shifting a lot of things inside of myself, that made me feel like I was better off, keeping my distance from people, that I was, better off just remaining alone and just solitary, my lone wolf kind of thing. As I processed all of those things, my true nature came out. My true nature enjoys being around people, enjoys, talking to people, supporting them, being part of a team or leading a team. Like that is my true nature. But so long as I continue to cage myself to those beliefs and stories and the pains and things that I had inside of myself to make me think that I was, introverted, or that I didn't need to allow people in, so long as I held on to those things, I was just going to continue to be alone, and I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today, which is helping so many people all over the world, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or private coaching or whatever it is. And so that is the thing, is that when you allow more of who you truly are to come through, then your life gets to be absolutely amazing and better than you could have ever imagined, and it leads you to your greatest success. But you have to be able to bring to your awareness how you're still holding yourself back, how you're truly not embodying the aspects of yourself that you believe you are on a soul level, and why you're continuing to hold yourself back from embodying who you believe you are on a soul level. Does that make sense? So For example, if you felt like you were here, you were, came into this world, into this life to make a big impact on the world or in the lives of others, but then you have all these beliefs and stories for why you can't do that, for why it's not the right time, for why, there are more qualified people out there, whatever your thing may be, you're caging your own spirit because your soul knows. Excuse the car honking outside. This is Latin America. But your soul knows, like, no, you came here to do this. But yet it's all of that, egoic stuff that we hold and we believe that makes us feel like, no, we can't make that impact. It's not the time. We're not qualified, and so on and so forth. And you cage your spirit. And if you would just allow yourself to be the true you and to move beyond that and understand, that whatever you believe about yourself is completely wrong, that your soul's truth that's trying to come through you is what is the actual truth, and that you're going to be led down the path of your highest good to be able to fulfill that. When you allow that to carry you forward, then your success is imminent. It just has to come. It has to come because you're allowing your true nature to start coming out, your true energy, your true essence to start coming out. And that's naturally going to lead you forward to the success and the impact that you desire to create in the world. So what they're wanting to remind you basically with this whole message of this video is that, like I said, right now we're going through this powerful period of transformation and growth at this time. And it's really an opportunity for you to decide as situations and things are coming up into your awareness that are causing you to feel disconnected from who you truly are on a spiritual level. It's an opportunity for you to let go of those old things, to stop caging your spirit, stop putting yourself in a box, trying to fit into a specific mold or the mold that you think you need to be, and instead allowing yourself to just be who you are, right? An example that I have of you of this that I gave recently in some video, I don't know where, was of gay men and how the traditional view of gay men has been, okay, just men who like other men, and they dress like men, and they sound like men, and they have haircuts like men, all of those stereotypical beliefs that we have about what a man is supposed to look like. But there are individuals today that are transcending that and are choosing to create a new definition of what it looks like it means to be a gay man and to express oneself as a gay man. And there are some gay men that they have full on, beards, and they're wearing makeup and they're wearing dresses and they have long hair and they have their nails done. And they're not going fully trans, as in like identifying, what we stereotypically believe a woman is supposed to look like, which is no facial hair and the boobs and stuff. No, like they're choosing to be themselves in the way that suits them. They're being the highest expression of themselves. And because they're doing this, they're able to have success in life in so many ways because they're being who they truly are. So one thing that with this example that they're reminding me of is that the reason that so many of us today are being asked to connect to the truth of who we are, to really allow our true soul's essence, expression, truth to come through us, is because, again, this is one of our purposes in life. And as you allow yourself to be who you truly are, the highest expression of yourself that you can be at this time, you help those around you to start accepting themselves more as well, and to allow themselves to have permission to be more of who they truly are. And so the reason as well that lately in the last maybe decade or so that we've been having an increasingly number of like things happen in terms of gender equality, what's the other one, like acceptance of the LGBTQ community. I hope I said those letters in the correct order. And we have people speaking out more and more against discrimination around certain types of people based on their ethnicity or their religious beliefs and so on. We're having this rise in all of these different things lately because humanity, the collective of humanity, is really wanting for everyone to understand that who they are is perfect and is lovable and acceptable just as they are. And so the reason that we're having, for example, all of this stuff around like gender equality is because we want to finally move in the direction of understanding that it doesn't matter whether you're a woman or a man, you're equal, just the way you like in with each other, you're equal, okay? Maybe not in terms of like physical force that we can do, because women's bodies are often different than men's, but we're equal in the sense that we should be treated equally and so on and so forth, and we're fine just the way we are. And when it comes to the LGBTQ community, it's really helping to this has increased because we're wanting to understand that no matter what you identify in terms of your sexual preferences, and your way of expressing that sexual preference or expressing your identity, in terms of all of that, no matter what color of that spectrum that you're on, you're still lovable and acceptable as you are. And so the same thing with this increase in having people speak up and stand up for people who are discriminated against because of their ethnicity or their gender or their religious beliefs and so on. We're having people speak up and defending them. This is increasing in the world, people standing up for these kinds of like things that we view as injustices, because we're wanting to promote this message as a collective that it's okay to be who you are, no matter what your ethnicity is, where you were born, no matter what your religious views are, your sexual preferences, it doesn't matter. And so all of this is what we're asking for as a collective, that it's okay to be who we are. It's okay to be who we are, no matter how different we may look like on the outside, no matter how different certain things about us may be. We're all perfect and amazing just the way we are. And so how to support that movement with more ease and grace is by you learning to connect with the truth of who you are and allowing that to shine through more powerfully, to stop caging yourself, so that as you uncage yourself and you allow yourself to connect with the energy of who you truly are, and you vibrate this higher level of consciousness and energetic frequency, your presence is going to naturally support and allow for others to be more accepting of who they truly are. So as we do this all together, we're all together going to more easily move down the path that is for that is the path that we have been asking for so long, which is a world in which we can all live in peace and feel safe and have all the good things that we want in life, right? And so this comes by connecting to the truth of who we truly are. And so okay, one second. One thing that they want me to mention lastly is that in order to understand whether or not you are still caging your spirit or not, or whether you're still being the most authentic version of yourself or not, you really have to go down the path of really knowing yourself on a deep level. And so when you really know yourself on this deep level, by beginning to question, why you maybe hold back from doing certain things, or why you display certain behaviors, or why you think you need to dress a certain way, or you need to go a certain career path, and so on and so forth. When you begin questioning these things and asking yourself these introspective questions, you can then really start understanding, are you doing this because of someone or something outside of you, because it's expected of you, or are you doing it because it truly, truly is something that resonates with your spirit? It's truly something that, in the words of Marie Kondo, sparks joy. I started watching that series this week. Does it really spark joy for you? Or are you doing it because of something outside of you? And so as you're able to practice this more and start really tuning into, whether or not you're really showing up in a way that feels great and exciting for you and effortless for you, or whether you're showing up in a way that you feel you need to show up for whatever reasons, you can then really start understanding, how you're caging yourself in so many ways, because like I said, this is a process that unfolds over time, and it takes little baby steps, and you're constantly peeling back layers to let go of more of these ideas and notions of that you have that make you think that you have to be a certain way and you have to do certain things, and to instead allow more of your divine soul's truth to come forward, and that being your new way of being again and again and again. Okay. All right, that's it. So I was just double checking with my guides, like, is that it? So this is the message that they have for you today, is connecting to your soul's truth. Please definitely make time over these next few weeks to continue to do this introspective work. I don't know what other word to use for that. I don't try to use the word work, but I guess that's all I could come up with right now. Just make time to just do a lot of introspection to really see how you're limiting yourself maybe in some ways, because the energy right now at this time is really pushing you forward into pursuing your dreams and passions, into allowing more of your true self-expression to come through, into moving more in the direction of your dreams, into doing whatever your soul is really asking you to do. Your soul is really trying to pull you forward into being more of who you are and having the life that you desire or you dream of as a byproduct of being more of who you truly are. But when you're not allowing yourself to be who you truly are because of whatever reasons you may have, limiting beliefs, fears, whatever you may have, when you're not allowing yourself to move forward in that direction of being who you truly are, and you're instead holding on to those limiting beliefs and the fears and stuff, it's like the energy is trying to carry you forward. The current of water is trying to carry you forward in one way, in one direction, and you're swimming against the current, and you're trying to go back to the stories and the things. And when you're swimming against the current, obviously you're going to get tired. And so this is one of the reasons why so many people at this time are feeling hopeless and restless and sad and, confused. They have a lack of clarity, they're unsure, and so many things right now people are experiencing at this time because of what the energy is bringing up for them in terms of internally or in terms of situations outside of them that are triggering these emotions inside of them. And so people are feeling this way because they're not going in the direction of who they truly are. They're going against it, and this is what's creating this friction, or sometimes this feeling of disconnect. And so what they're wanting for you to do is just really make this time to really connect with who you are, do this introspective stuff, and really see how you're still holding yourself back from being the most amazing, authentic expression of yourself, and allowing yourself gradually to set yourself free, because only you have the power to do that. You're the person that is in the cage, but you also hold the key to opening that cage. And so it's just up to you a bit, being willing to open yourself up to who you truly are, and letting go of any fears you may have around being that most amazing expression of yourself. So I really hope that this teaching has helped you in some kind of way, this message, and that you really do have the courage to be who you truly are. It feels like it's not always the easiest journey. We all learn this on different levels, but I promise you that the more that you do this, the more that you really allow yourself to experience a level of freedom that you never thought was possible, the happier you get to be. And going back to what I mentioned earlier around Jim Carrey, how if you watch this documentary, it wasn't like the most interesting thing for me personally, but what I really enjoyed of it is that as Jim Carrey was playing this late comedian, it's like the late comedian's like spirit would like enter Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey would suddenly like take on like the total persona of this late comedian. And so this late comedian, when they were alive, they also created a character that was like really arrogant and nasty and spiteful and all of this other stuff, right? So sometimes Jim Carrey would, in playing that other character, would, the spirit of that character would like come in through Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey would channel that energy. And that energy would say a lot of really harsh truths about Jim. and would say things like, Jim just wants to be liked by everyone. He's, stupid, and he's this and that because he's just still busy making people happy or whatever. And I felt like that was really interesting because what I gathered from this documentary as Jim played this late comedian was that Jim got to experience this unapologetic, badass way of being through playing this late comedian that he had never, ever experienced in his life before. Because this late comedian, like I said, was very controversial, just basically marched to the beat of his own drummer and did his own thing and didn't care if certain people found his stuff funny or not, or laughed or not, or whatever. This person just did what they wanted. And so on and so forth. Instead of maybe doing things like Jim back in the day may have done them and thought, like, what can I say to get this reaction out of a crowd and do this and do that, or whoever, I don't know the process, right? But they went about it in completely different ways. And so this is what I want you to understand, is that when you just allow yourself to be who you are, you get to experience a freedom that feels amazing, because you're no longer concerning yourself with what do people think or what do they believe about me and so on and so forth. You just get to be. And that is such an empowering way of being and feeling. And that's what we're all being taken down the path of, is understanding that we're just here to be ourselves, and that's it. Okay. So that is what I accomplished a little more of this past week with my pole dancing classes. I got to just be me and just not allow my past stuff to hold me back and to make me feel like, I don't know, less than or whatever anymore. And I've done this on different levels. I've even, had to sing. I didn't have to, but I chose to sing on Facebook once. In a live stream, because that really got me out of my comfort zone. And I'm a person that I love getting out of my comfort zone, because I refuse to allow fear to get the best of me and to rule my life and my experience and to cage my spirit. I will continuously move forward and challenge myself to be more of who I truly am, so that I don't continue to fear people's comments or criticisms or judgments or any of that stuff. And I just allow what I truly want to express to be expressed in the world, no matter what. And so that's a constant journey for me. And if this is a journey that you want to embark on, you can totally do it as well. Just take one step at a time. And right now, the energy is supporting you in being able to achieve that. So I really hope that this has helped you in some kind of way. If you enjoyed the message today, definitely give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I have other teachings on my channel as well. And I do these videos every Friday. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me as stefventura.com. Stefventura Coaching on Instagram. And the links are in the description below, so click on those. And if you haven't yet heard, I'm starting my Discover Your Soul's Purpose course on Sunday. So it's a 5-day course in which I'm going to be working with you over 5 days live at this current moment. Maybe later down the road when you get to watch this, if you're watching in the future, it's going to be a self-study course. But it's a 5-day course in which I'm going to be working with you to really do some deep soul searching and to really understand on a deeper level how you're holding yourself back from being who you truly are in the world, and as a consequence, not stepping into your purpose more powerfully. Or if you already feel like you're stepping into your purpose, but you're not getting the results that you want, it's about really doing that soul searching so you can bring yourself into powerful alignment with your purpose. So that way you can start manifesting amazing opportunities from that alignment. And so that's what we're going to be doing for these 5 days. I'm going to be channeling the teachings live like I always do. I never know exactly like what it's supposed to look like. I just do my thing, and then people get amazing results. They manifest clients and money and all these different things. So if that sounds like an opportunity that interests you, the link to that is in the description below for you to pay and sign up. And that's basically it. We do start on Sunday, so don't delay, because once I get started, I do give a lot of exercises that require a lot of journaling for some people. It's not a whole lot, but like I have you do this stuff, and between work and doing this stuff and so on, everything you have going on in your life, even dedicating an hour, 2 hours of your day to that can feel like a lot. So you don't want to get too delayed in starting. That way you can keep up with stuff and it doesn't feel like so much stuff for you. So yeah, the link is in the description below. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you all next Friday. And if you want to join me on Facebook, check out the links in the description below, because there's a link to my Facebook business page where I do weekly energy readings every Monday, and to my Facebook group as well. So you can come and join me there. So thank you so much. Take care. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.